What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update, and yet again here with Brian Daigle as Sim is living the life out in LA right now, but he will be back with us very soon. But Brian, how are we doing today?
We're doing very, very good this morning, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. We've got quite a bit to get through today, but just before we get into it, do go and check out our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk, where you get daily Tottenham articles. Some really good articles going up there at the moment. So go and check it out. Link is in the description below. But let's get into the Tottenham update. We brought you some news the last couple of days regarding Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Fabrizio Romano has chimed in on the situation now, and he says Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang remains open to moving away from Tottenham in January. However, it will be, of course, require the green light from Tottenham Hotspur. It's true, Juventus are one of the clubs keeping tabs on the situation, but they are not the only ones. So Fabrizio saying there could be many clubs potentially looking at Pierre for this January.
Well, he's a more professional, isn't he? I mean, when it was Atletico Madrid, could there be a more Diego Simeone player than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? He's going to attract suitors. We said this because of his on the field, off the field, his mentality, his absolutely impeccable fitness record, and of course he's going to be open. It's a Euros. He wants first team football like any other player. When we all have jobs, we all want to get promoted, and if we don't feel we're getting valued, what do? We go look for another job. Exactly the same for footballers, and this doesn't surprise me. And if I was in Pierre's position, would I probably feel the same? Maybe. But yeah, this is just some more media speculation, putting petrol on the fire, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think regarding Pierre, we'll probably only let him go if we do get a replacement in. And there are a few names in terms of who the replacements could be. It looks as though we're already looking for that replacement. And we're going to talk about a player called Kalvin Phillips of Manchester City. Matt Law says that Tottenham's new technical director, Johan Lange, is a big fan of Kalvin Phillips, and he could hit the North London club's radar should Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leave Spurs in the January transfer window. Obviously, we know Kalvin Phillips is a top midfielder. He's shown that time and time again. He's shown it for Leeds. He's shown it for England. But he just can't seem to get a game for Man City. I'm not sure what that reason is. Would you see him as an ideal replacement for Pierre?
Yes. Yeah, I really would. I am a fan of his. One thing I will say with this is what I'm looking at with this deal. Should the Pierre deal happen, this is going to be a really, really big indicator of what Lange is capable of doing, and if the board and the club follow through with it. Because if he goes out and, let's say, like we've discussed, Ben, this might be when Assuma and Sarr come back from AFCON, that's when we're desperately going to need Pierre. This kind of Phillips deal is going to need to be wrapped up quick, wouldn't you say? So it would be a case of, if he's going out near the end of the window, we need to make sure someone's coming in. This will be a huge indicator in the way that the club's moving if we can get it over, and I think he would be perfect in a Spurs shirt.
When you're looking at Phillips, though, like, obviously he's not getting a look in at Man City at the moment. Do you see him, with everyone fit, being a first choice, a starter in the Spurs team?
Well, listen, a lot of this hinders on if Bentancur comes back to the scintillating form he was in before he got injured. If he does, then no, I can see him being used rotation-wise with the team, and that might be what we need. Do I see him getting more game time in a Spurs shirt than I do a Man City shirt? Yes, I do. But this is what we want. We keep saying right now, our first 11 can go toe to toe with anyone on their day, but it's what we do from the bench that's going to have huge implications on where we finish. And him on the bench, or him in the starting lineup, and Bentancur or whoever on the bench, sounds a lot better than it does right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And he kind of ticks a few other boxes as well, homegrown, that we desperately need. So if we could sell Højbjerg for something like 25, 30 million, bring in Kalvin Phillips for like, what would you say, about around 30, 40 million, something around that ballpark figure, I think that'd be a really good deal for Tottenham. I really do. But I just don't know if I can see Kalvin Phillips wanting to come here as a rotation player. I feel like he'd want to go somewhere where he's guaranteed to be starting week in, week out.
Well, you say that, but then do you think he would have gone to Manchester City? Because
But
I
that's the
don't think he
thing.
would have.
After having that experience at Man City where he's not getting a look in, I think he'd probably want to
Yeah,
go somewhere and really play week in, week out.
that fair point, fair point. But also, I was talking about this yesterday with Ryan on Tottenham Hotspur. We're saying this still. I mean, Ryan thinks could be the way we'd get through the door is a loan with an obligation to buy, as opposed to an outlay immediately. A lot of the deals are structured this way now, aren't they? But like I said, I think one of the key things about him is he does tick that homegrown quota. But I'm with you around the 30, 40 million would be the fee, and hopefully he'd want to come here and have a thirst to try and get first team football rather than
Yeah.
just walk into it. There will be competition for places. That's what all the players want. But Man City, when he left Leeds, we know how ridiculous that squad is. It's night and day to try and get into the Spurs team and a Manchester City team because of the wealth and players they have, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But like this summer, they sold Gundogan, right? And you thought
Yep.
maybe Kalvin Phillips was gonna really stamp his mark in the team, but then they ended up signing like two other midfielders, the chap from Wolves and also Kovacic as well from Chelsea. So it was a bit of a strange one for me why Kalvin Phillips is not getting any sort of look in, and they want to sign players instead of giving him a chance. So it's a very strange one, and I can see why he wants to leave. But I just do have my reservations if Tottenham is a place that he wants to come to. But if he does, then I'd be completely open to it because I think he would be an upgrade on Pierre.
Oh, he would be. Like we've said, Ben, if a player is available that is an upgrade on the current player we have, I am no longer falling on sentiment. It's like, oh, he's been very good. He's been a great. No, you get the better play in and make the team a better team. So if it was that for that, I'm taking it all day long.
Yeah. And in terms of another homegrown player to talk about, we're going to talk about Conor Gallagher next. As Rob Guesty said a couple of days ago that Tottenham could potentially revisit a move for Conor Gallagher. However, a deal might be incredibly hard to pull off. In my opinion, I can't see this being a starter at all, to be honest. I think you're looking at him, what he's doing right now in a Chelsea shirt. He's performing well. He's currently their captain with Reece James out injured. So I can't see any sort of deal being done here. I don't know about what your opinion is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a complete non-starter. I think, obviously, in the summer there was huge speculation, and there possibly could have been a deal, or that could have been just speculation to get out there and set other deals off. Now he's playing regularly for Chelsea, and Chelsea's starting to turn the corner. You're not given the captaincy by any manager, let alone Pochettino, if the idea is to move you on within the next window. I just cannot see this happening at all.
Yeah. All right, and we spoke yesterday in depth about all these kind of injury concerns that we do have at the moment. A bit more positive news today. We're going to talk about Romero and Heung-min Son. Dan Kilpatrick says that Tottenham to assess Romero and Sonny after picking up knocks in international duty. However, there is no serious concern about either player. And Paul O'Keefe also says that Son and Romero are expected to be okay for the weekend. So that's great news, isn't it?
Music to every single Spurs fan's ears. Vital that these two are fit and available for selection. Big game Monday. To carry on this unbeaten run, to carry on our fantastic start, and these two are vital to everything. So very good news to hear.
Absolutely, because we all feared the worst, didn't we, when we saw Sonny kept like breaking down for South Korea, albeit he played 90 minutes, scored a goal and got an assist as well. And Romero going off at half time. And I mean, it did come a bit clear and apparent quite soon after the game that it was just a precaution, but it's just it's great to hear that Paul O'Keefe saying they're both expected to be okay. A fresh injury concern, actually, which we didn't talk about yesterday, was Pape Mata. Dan Kilpatrick, though, has said that Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Pape Mata, who was pictured with an ice pack on his foot after featuring for Senegal during the international break, has resumed training at Spurs on Wednesday. So some more good news there.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh, not him. If you look at that midfield with Assuma out and then him, it could have been a worry. But Pape Mata back in training, and it seems that it was worse than first feared, wasn't it? And it seems to the ice pack has done its job.
Absolutely.
Long live the ice pack. Long live the ice pack.
And another player who we've been worrying about is Yves Bissouma. Paul O'Keefe saying Bissouma should be fined, but he is banned for Monday anyway. So the next time he can feature is in 2 weeks' time, and it shouldn't be a concern whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank God he had this suspension. So he was going to be out anyway. If you're going to have an injury, have it while you're unavailable for selection. And hopefully he is rare and fit for Chelsea. But like Palace, sorry, but like we said the other day, I think it was I was speaking with you, Ben. Would you have him if Basuma was available for Palace? Would you, if we get a win against Fulham, keep it the same and just bring Basuma on should be needed, so you know he's available for Chelsea? Or do you throw him straight in for Palace with the risk of a booking and could miss Chelsea?
I throw him straight in for Palace. I don't think we can. I don't think that we can sit here and be like, oh, we got Chelsea in 2 games' time. We need to take everything a game at a time and put our strongest team out. And you got Palace away. It's no easy game. It's not like we can just rest one of our best players and think that we're an unbelievable team and we're going to go beat Palace without. I just don't think that we can think like that. I just feel like we just got to concentrate on the job at hand and then see what problems take us for the game after.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. I can't remember who I was talking with that said that, but you can see with the point they're making with obviously Chelsea at home, that being and everything. You want your best players available for that game. But yeah, I think Basuma would have learned his lesson, and would be well. That's if he is fit to play. Let's face it. It seems like he will be, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
If he does have a knock, or he's carrying a knock, and he's maybe like 60-70% or maybe even 75% going into the game, I would probably play Pierre and rest him, so he's 100% for the Chelsea game. But if he's 100%, I play him. No questions asked.
I can agree with.
Next up, we're going to talk about Brennan Johnson, and more hopeful news on him, as Dan Kilpatrick says that Spurs are hopeful Brennan Johnson will feature this weekend, and Paul O'Keefe says Johnson should be available for selection on Monday. So that's what we all wanted to hear. And seeing as you've heard that news now, do you feel like he's going to start on the left ahead of Richarlison?
I would hope so. If they deem he's fit for selection, it's just not working for Richarlison right now, is it? It's just not happening. There's moments. Very few moments in games, but we saw in that Luton game he was non-existent. Liverpool, he was a lot brighter. What we have seen in Brennan Johnson in the first half of the North London derby, the substitute appearance at Sheffield United, he was doing bits. And again, we've got to think about the threat of his pace. His pace is going to terrify teams and add a different dimension to the game. So yeah, if he is past fit, for me, you go straight in on the left.
And last but not least, we're going to talk about 2 other players potentially eyeing their first minutes of the season this weekend or on Monday night, and that is Giovanni Lo Celso and Bryan Hill. As Dan Kilpatrick says, they are eyeing their first minutes. Would you like to see them both feature this weekend?
Both.
Or either. Or
Bryan Hill, I'd like to see come off the bench, maybe for Brennan Johnson. If Brennan Johnson can't last the full 90, we have to monitor him and obviously give him time to get back to full match fitness. Gio Lo Celso, I would only want to see really if we're losing or drawing and we need that extra bit of creativity. I wouldn't mind seeing, let's say, if we were playing Maddison, Højbjerg and Sarr, if Sarr came off, if we were drawing or losing and you have a Maddison Lo Celso, more creative midfield as opposed to a more all-rounded midfield. So I'd rather Bryan Hill got more minutes than Lo Celso. What about you?
I kind of tend to agree, to be honest, because I've been really excited about Bryan Hill and what he can achieve at Spurs since Ange Postecoglou, even before. To be honest, I've always believed in what he can bring in a Spurs shirt. And he's also in a position where we're not at 100% right now because, Brennan Johnson's coming back from injury. Richarlison's not really doing it. So I would like to see Bryan Hill, regardless of if we're winning, losing or whatever, just come on and show what he can do in a Spurs shirt, maybe with half an hour, 20 minutes to go. Giovanni is an interesting one because I feel like it's either him or Maddison. And I feel like Like, we can't drop Maddison. We can't. He's been the best player in the Premier League so far. So I would like to see Gio maybe come on in the last 10 minutes and see what he can do. But I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for Gio to get minutes than it will be for Bryan Hill, in my opinion.
Well, you just actually mentioned it, isn't it? We've been saying recently when Ange has taken off Son and Maddison, we've lost that creativity. So like you were saying, if Maddison, who has been coming off at, let's say, 70, 80 minutes, there's your in for Gio, isn't it? There's that creativity that we'll be lacking. Not saying it's the same kind of creativity, but it's more creativity than we've had on the pitch.
Yeah, that's very true. And if we do need to go out all attack and need a goal in the last 10 minutes, why not whip them both on? I don't see a problem with that at all. So it's good options to have, isn't it? Because you're looking at the benches that we've had the last couple of games and you're thinking there's not much on there to change a game. But now players are slowly coming back, then maybe those options are going to start to present themselves now.
Exactly. Well, put it this way, we're getting concerned when all these injuries were happening and we got through it. Now they're coming back and we've got more options, more quality. It can only be a positive, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to need all of them if we're going to do anything this season, because we're so thin in certain areas. So these players that are on the bench, when they get their chance, they need to step up and they need to show that they're part of the team and that we want them here to stay for the long term. So look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Brian, thank you, sir, for coming on today. Do you want to tell the people what is happening on Tottenham on Tour and where they can find? Well, I've told them where they can find you.
They can find us at Tottenham on Tour. We do Cockerel Doodle Doo every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We started a late show yesterday, Wednesday evening here in Toronto, which was mainly aimed for everyone on the Australian time zone and South Korean. And we did that for the first time. And after every Premier League match, we have our flagship show, which is Anger Management, with me and Johnny, where we do our post-match review of the game. So yeah, come and check us out at Tottenham on Tour.
All right. Well, everyone go and subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. Don't forget to check out our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk, for your latest Tottenham articles. And we'll see you very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.